So a bold, brave, ambitious retailer, just like you, asked me, Cathy, if you had to start over tomorrow with no list and no team and no safety net, but you knew what you know now, what would you do? So I set up my mic and I shared exactly how I'd build $1 million store from scratch. I have learned so much in all these years and I know what to do. And I'll tell you that episode became one of our top podcasts ever, which told me something. You wanted more. So this is me going deeper for you. Okay, the things I do to build a profitable, cash multiplying, cash creating $1 million store from scratch. This core system that I'm going to dig into is the Cash Confidence System. Now, why that name? Because this is precisely what the outcome is. You gain such confidence. You know that if things are bad, everyone will have a bad month once in a while, right? But you have tools that you can use to take action on it. That's what makes all the difference. So I'll tell you how we'd start out is I'd want you to install Profit First from day one. Using that process, we can make sure you pay yourself, make sure your taxes are covered, and build real profit into the business from the very beginning. If you work it, it gives you bold confidence. It's the most powerful tool to support and to anticipate growth with positive cash flow that I've ever seen. So many decisions and concerns just fall off your shoulders when you use Profit First. It gives you such peace. It makes your money work harder than you do. It gives a job to every single dollar that comes in. It's so powerful and can help sustain so much growth. The next thing you have to do is know your profit point. Some people call it a break even, but I always say, like, who wants to break even? I want you to make a profit. So we build this profit into what your sales goals should be. So you've got to know what that is. What's your profit point and what are your stretch goals? You cannot grow what you don't track, right? That's a fact. So you've got to set those goals. The next thing is to use a cash flow forecast. You should know how much is coming in and how much is going out every month so that you can predict and prevent cash flow dips. I'm going to tell you a story about that at the very end. This next one is so important. Track your KPIs like your business depends on it, because it does. It does pack on it. It does depend on it. You can take actions and course corrections so easily when you're looking at it. In fact, it actually tells you what you need to do for marketing. So what KPIs should you look at? Weekly, you should be looking at your sales, your total sales, as well as your sales by each individual inventory class. You should also be looking at your items per sale compared to the same month last year to see how you're looking. I find that's the best way to look at it. Are you up or down? Because that's another easy number that you can control, that you can take action on. Monthly, I want you to be looking at what's your initial markup, the average of your initial markup for everything you've received in that previous month. You should be aiming for 65%, which is almost 3 times cost. For the whole year, that's what I want your average to be, because the cost of doing business has increased so much. I want you to be looking at your payroll as a percentage of sales. I want you to be looking at your cash, and I want you to review these either every Monday, weekly, or like I said, once a month, like it's your only job. Because if you don't take care of these numbers, you won't have a job. You won't have a store. That's the worst thing about it. You also need a seasonal sales plan and a profit plan. Not a hope, not a guess, and not just a last year plus 10% number. Not just I know that we need to average $39,000 a month. That's not it. It's got to take into account the seasonality of your business, the highs and the lows of both sales and profit. The thing is that a real plan means that you're forecasting on purpose, using facts. You're doing it intentionally. You're looking at your historical sales by month and by category of inventory. You're looking at your inventory levels. You're looking at what your margins are, what your initial margins are, and then what your maintained margins are. That is how much you've actually kept. It's after markdowns. You're looking at what your cash flow needs are. You're looking at your payroll target percentage, including your own pay. When you have that, then you're able to decide in advance how much you need to sell each month, how much MMU, maintain markup, or gross margin you must protect, that you have to protect, how much inventory you can afford to bring in. It'll tell you when promotions or markdowns will happen and when they shouldn't. You should not be doing them all the time, for sure. It should be very strategic. You'll also know how much profit and how much owner pay you're committed to bringing home. I tell you, this kind of plan turns the season from something that just happens to you to something that you lead, something that you create. You have so much more power and impact than you realize. It lets you spot problems early and take action on it. Make smarter buys, cancel an order that you actually don't need. And so that helps to control your cash flow. You can adjust before things go sideways. Hope is not a strategy, as we all know. A fact-based forecast is how million-dollar stores win. You've got to make sure you're fixing leaks quickly. Are you overspending on expenses? Is your margin getting eroded? Is payroll kind of creeping up? You've got to spot it fast and take action. Like the CEO I know you are. You've got to make every dollar work. Before you spend a penny, ask yourself, does this support profit and growth? Can you imagine the confidence you can have and that you deserve? Listen, my Millie moment about this is telling you a story about Janet, who last year and the previous year had one cash flow positive month for the whole year. This year, she's had 4 cash flow positive months and a cash flow positive year, which is fabulous. And we're aiming to double that and to get 8 cash flow positive months next year. That can only be done because we're being proactive about it. And that's how a Millie thinks about it. That's what your mindset has to be. That's what your attitude has to be. And listen, if you're still here with me, pat yourself on the back. Most store owners will have turned away. This is the most critical information and strategies and tactics, and it can be the scariest because we all have ignored it. Every single one of us, myself included, and had it bite us, right? But most don't realize is that this is fun to play with. It is when you feel in control of it. That's why we call this the cash confidence system. It comes from the Richer Retailer method that we use with our clients, and it guides everything we do, from the workshops that we offer to the resources that we create for clients to the one-on-one coaching we do. And if you'd like us to lead you through this Richer Retailer method for your store, or you have any questions about what we talked about, apply for the $1 Million Growth Plan call right now. The link is in the show notes. Listen, if you're stuck or feeling frustrated, clearly something is not right? But what is it? You don't know what it was. We don't know what it is, or you would have fixed it already, right? I know that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look into your business, and what will happen with you is that you'll walk away with a customized growth plan that will allow you to scale past $1 million in revenue while paying yourself $11,000 a month and working 2 days on the floor. During this personalized 45-minute call, we're going to identify the number one biggest cash flow bottleneck in your business. What's stopping you from having the funds to grow your store, and how to unlock that. Because what I know is that we will find leaks in your cash flow. It always happens. So what do you have to do to plug those leaks up so you can stop those leaks and grow your business in the next 90 days? We'll take a look at your current inventory and your inventory buying strategy to see what's working and what's not, and what needs to change for you to scale past that $1 million. We'll take a look at that. We'll also talk about your marketing and see how much new in-store traffic you can generate in the next 30 to 60 days with the new traffic map. We're going to outline what changes need to happen with you and your team so that you can spend fewer days on the shop floor and more days working on your business. You will walk away with a simple 3-step plan that you can implement and where you can score the biggest wins in the next 90 days. It might not include all of these things above, but almost always it includes something about your cash flow. There are just very obvious things that you don't know to look for, that you don't know what you don't know. So that's what we do. So you sign up for a $1 Million Growth Plan call in the show notes. And if this episode inspired you, please let us know. If you have any questions about it, don't hesitate to DM us. We're Retail Mavens on every platform: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. And also know that you are astonishingly fabulous and that you are loved. And you can do this. I know it. I know you can. If I could do it, you could do it. And I feel like I made all these mistakes so that you don't have to. Hope to talk to you soon. Happy retailing.